Imagine being born into a world where the air itself could kill you, where the sun disappeared for years, where neighbors turned on each other, and where every single day, survival was a coin toss. Your ancestors lived through these nightmares, ice ages, plagues, empires of war, and even a supervolcano that almost erased humanity. And the only reason you exist today is because they didn't die when the universe tried to wipe them out. This is not just history. This is a countdown of the worst times to be born as a human. And the real question is, if it were you, would you survive? 20,000 years ago, Earth locked itself inside an endless winter. Glaciers 2 miles thick smothered the continents. Snowstorms howled like predators. The air was so cold it burned your lungs. Dinner? A 6-ton woolly mammoth that wanted you dead. Home? A cave filled with 40 relatives snoring in the dark. Clothing? Animal skins stitched with bone needles if you were lucky. And medicine? Forget it. One infected cut, one rotten tooth, and you were gone. Yet somehow, our ancestors painted art on cave walls, as if to scream into the void, we were here, we survived. But as the ice began to melt, humans came up with a new idea. What if food came to them? 10,000 years ago, humans got tired of chasing mammoths. So they thought, what if food came to us? Brilliant idea, disastrous results. Villages popped up, but so did disease. Crowds meant parasites, plagues, and fevers spreading like wildfire. Grain-based diets wrecked teeth, weakened bones, and left skeletons showing anemia. One bad harvest, one drought, one flood, and the village starved in silence. And for the first time in history, humans killed humans, not just for survival, but for land, for power, for control. Farming didn't just feed us, it fed our worst instincts. Farming solved hunger, but it opened the door to something far more terrifying: conquest. 13th century. You see a dust cloud on the horizon. It isn't the wind, it's the end. The Mongol army moved like a storm. Horse archers hit you from 300 yards away while galloping full speed. Cities burned in hours. Populations erased overnight. 10% of the world's people gone. If you survived, you weren't safe. You might be enslaved, or worse, tied to the front lines as a human shield. Life under Mongol rule was simple: absolute obedience or absolute death. And just when swords stopped swinging, a new killer arrived, one too small to see. 1347, a ship docks in Europe. It doesn't carry goods, it carries the end of the world. The plague spread by rats, fleas, and simple contact. A handshake, a shared cup, a single breath. Boils swelled, fevers burned, blood filled your lungs. Within days, you were gone. 1/3 to 1/2 of Europe vanished in just a few years. Entire villages abandoned, fields left to rot. Doctors wore beaked masks, stuffed with herbs, believing flowers could fight death. Spoiler, they couldn't. And terror twisted society. Cats slaughtered, witches burned, neighbors turned into executioners. Survival wasn't just avoiding disease, it was avoiding the madness of humanity itself. But even plagues were nothing compared to the wrath of the earth itself. 74,000 years ago, Earth nearly erased us forever. Mount Toba erupted with the force of 2,800 nuclear bombs. Ash blackened the sky. The sun disappeared for nearly a decade. Temperatures crashed, forests died, animals starved, and humanity reduced to just a few thousand. Fewer than the number of people watching this video. Every human alive today descends from those desperate survivors. People who scavenged carcasses, chewed bark, and lived in a world without light, but refused to let the human story end. Yet somehow, they survived. And because of them, you are here. You exist today not by chance, but by defiance. Because generation after generation, your ancestors survived when they shouldn't have. So the next time you complain about slow Wi-Fi or your bubble tea order missing boba, remember, your family line lived through ice, fire, plague, and war, just so you could sit here and laugh at history. And don't forget to subscribe before natural selection decides you're not worth keeping.